Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte is an Italian jurist, academic and lawyer who served as Prime Minister of Italy from June 2018 until February 2021. Conte spent the majority of his career as a law professor and was also a member of the Italian Bureau of Administrative Justice from 2013 to 2018. Following the 2018 general election, he was proposed to be the independent leader of a coalition government between the Five Star Movement and the League, despite having never held any political position before. After both parties agreed on a government program, he was sworn in as Prime Minister on the 1st of June by President Sergio Mattarella, appointing the M5S and League leaders as his joint deputies. In August 2019, the League filed a motion of no confidence in the coalition government. Conte offered to resign as Prime Minister, but instead the M5S and the centre-left Democratic Party agreed to form a new government, with Conte remaining at its head. This made Conte the first Italian Prime Minister to lead two separate governments made up of right-wing and left-wing coalition partners, despite having begun his political career as a technocrat, appointed to implement the government program of M5S and the League. During the final months of his first cabinet, and throughout his second one, Conte became an increasingly influential and popular figure in Italian politics. During his premiership he introduced important reforms including the introduction of a guaranteed minimum income, a constitutional reform to reduce the number of parliamentarians, nationalizations of the Italian highway company ASP, the Italian flag carrier Alitalia and Italy's largest steel company Ilva, as well as a stricter policy towards illegal immigration. In 2020, Italy became one of the countries worst affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. His government was the first in the Western world to implement a national lockdown to stop the spread of the disease. Despite being widely approved by public opinion, the lockdown was also described as the largest suppression of constitutional rights in the history of the Italian Republic. Conte's extensive use of prime ministerial decrees to impose restrictions aimed at containing the pandemic gave rise to criticism from journalists, political analysts and opposition politicians. The economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic was especially severe in Italy. In July 2020, to assist with the coronavirus recession, Conte and other European leaders approved the Next Generation EU package, by which Italy will receive €209 billion in grants and loans from the European Recovery Fund. In January 2021, the centrist party Italia Viva withdrew its support for Conte's government. Although Conte was able to win confidence votes in the parliament in the subsequent days, he chose to resign due to failing to reach an absolute majority in the Senate. After negotiations to form a Conte's third cabinet failed, the former president of the European Central Bank, Mario Draghi, formed a national unity government. Conte was the first Italian prime minister appointed without prior political office since Silvio Berlusconi in 1994. As well as the first from southern Italy since Ciriaco de' Mitta in 1989. Conte was also the longest-serving independent prime minister in the history of Italy. Because of his leadership style, Conte has often been considered one of the leading examples of techno-populism. While his first cabinet was described by many publications, such as the New York Times and La Repubblica, as the first modern populist government in Western Europe, Conte has often been called the people's lawyer, as he described himself during his first speech as prime minister. Conte was born on 8 August 1964 into a middle-class family at Valciurarapula, near Foggia. His father Nicola was a public employee in the local municipality, while his mother Lilina Roberti was an elementary school teacher. After his family moved to San Giovanni Rotondo, Conte attended the Classical Lyceum, Pietro Giannin, near San Marco in Lamis and then studied law at the Sapienza University of Rome, where he graduated in 1988 with honors. In 1992, he formally qualified as a lawyer, before, for a short term, studying abroad. In the same year, he moved to the United States to study at Yale Law School and Duquesne University and at the International Culture Institute in Vienna in 1993. He later researched or lectured at Sorbonne University in 2000, Girton College, Cambridge in 2001 and New York University in 2008. He began his academic career during the 1990s when he taught at Roma Ter University, at LUMSA University in Rome, at the University of Malta and at the University of Sassari in Sardinia. Conte is currently Professor of Private Law at the University of Florence and at Rome's LUISS. He sits on the Board of Trustees of John Cabot University in Rome. Conte's claim to have completed studies at New York University has been challenged, with the institution